gunning for this one from the beginning.
No, I've just been gunning for you to fucking finish it.
No, because back when before we even, in season 1, before I even started reading the book, you were really keen on having Moby Dick be on the list.
Well, I want to know about this whale. What's up with him?
Well, I'll tell you, but before we start today, I actually have to do, like, a little correction. One of our biggest fans, Jack McGorlick, wrote in.
He did?
Yeah, he did. Apparently, I made a little baby mistake.
What did you do?
Oh, Jack McGorlick, by the way, is a very funny comedian, part of Paul Noodle PhD candidate. You can catch him most every comedy festival.
When is there ever going to be a comedy festival?
It's over.
Comedy has been cancelled.
Until further notice. Well, Jack told me that he was listening to our episode on Pride and Prejudice.
Whoa. And, the first one, the hidden episode.
Yes.
Whoa.
And
what did you do?
So when Mr. Wickham meets Mr. Darcy, I said something like, they both go red or they both go pale. Whereas Jack was very insistent on making sure I understand that one of them goes pale and the other one goes red. Famously so.
Well, if it wasn't in Bridget Jones' Diary, it doesn't have to be here either.
Yeah.
So, Jack, thank you for writing in, but you can suck it.
Alana, what were you going to say about look on your face?
I reckon
I would
Wickham
have to
would have
actually
gone pale, and I reckon
should we check?
Farty Darty.
I don't know if she said it.
Well, we'll just take Jack's word
We'll take Jack's word for it. I believe him.
Any other corrections from the general public? Write in, tell us.
Yeah, tell us what I've done wrong. Yeah, please.
I love a good grading system. So we're sipping some tea.
We are. Sorry about that.
Full of croissants and cheese.
Strawberries.
This is Illiterature.
Sure is.
With Cassandra, Samantha.
And Alana.
Kalana. But like in the dark. In the
quietly
corner.
You ready to
dive into the
ocean of words?
Dive into an ocean of metaphors.
It was such a trial to read this.
It was also a tribulation.
It truly. And I was telling Alana that I'm but a small boat on an ocean of words.
Well, you like boats.
I do. Well, I used to. So
book
opens.
Oh no!
The book opens not with the phrase "I've got a story for you, Sonny," as some would have you believe.
Oh, who did that?
You did that.
I know. Wouldn't you have had less of a hard time if it did start like that? Because you're like, oh, I'm in for a treat.
But it actually opens with the famous words, "Call me Ishmael." Alana's nodding. Alana knew. Ishmael is a sailor in between jobs or something in NYC. There's a lot of that. And he talks about how he feels this inescapable pull towards the ocean. How a lot of men experience like this pull towards the ocean. It's almost
just you.
Suicidal. It's like,
well,
I just want to go to sea. I want to leave everything behind and go to sea. You're pointing at me.
Because that's you.
Sure.
What do you mean sure?
I'm wearing my ship socks today. I don't know if anybody noticed.
No, because they're tucked away.
I was wearing them before I tucked them away under the blanket.
Why would I just look at your feet?
Hey.
Oh my, Tarantino.
Easy targets. He's the only one. He's the only famous person with a foot fetish. Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
He has a foot fetish.
When him and Kate
Winslet... He's
so
handsome.
What? Only uggos can have foot feti.
Foot feti.
Fetishy. Yeah, when him and Kate Winslet were filming that awful rom-com, The Mountain Between Us, they had like a sex scene, and he like said, "Hey, don't take your socks off, okay?" And she was just like, "Oh my God."
That's the opposite of a foot fetish.
Hang on, I'm not done. And she was like, "Oh, why? Are my feet ugly?" Oh no, he's like, "No, I really like feet," and he didn't want to.
Oh no, that's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I bet she has beautiful feet though.
Probably, it's Kate Winslet.
So Ishmael decides to put out to sea again to get away from it all. He can't bear to be a passenger, partly because he's a cheap bastard. So he's decided to do what he usually does and enlist as a crew member, to get a holiday and to get paid.
Oh my God, like people that work in cruise ships.
Yeah, except with like 100 times more chance of dying.
Less karaoke. Yeah.
was a bit like sea shanties and
Oh,
stuff.
true.
Yeah.
But I guess they didn't
Singing on the high seas.
I guess that is the only karaoke back then.
Yeah.
Just singing out loud.
Someone's like holding up the words.
Like,
Written in quill.
Someone's got like a sandwich board on. Like very
chalk,
much like
yeah.
Marlon Brando filming
Yes.
Godfather.
Yes.
Everyone just has his lines on the front of their shirts, and he's just like, "Yes, Al Pacino." I mean,
So, however, this time Ishmael wants to do something a bit different. He usually joins merchant ships, so they're just carrying goods and stuff across the seas. But this time he wants to join a whaling expedition.
oh, whale. Got
So,
him.
yeah. So there are whalers that leave from New York, but Ishmael is a hipster of sorts, and he only wants to do the whaling experience authentically.
What the fuck?
I've got to put it in like those between those little swirly.
Is Ishmael the kind of guy who would have like, you know, those beanies rolled up
Oh yeah,
like in Brunswick?
especially because that's like a sailor thing anyway, isn't it?
I know. Yeah.
I always imagine it to be. I don't know if that's true.
I'm kind of
Fisherman.
imagining he kind of looks like Jack Antonoff now, so that's who
Jack Antonoff.
that's who I've cast him as.
I've
in
got
my
to
head.
look him up.
I love how both of you just started looking him up now.
Well,
Lena
is it
Dunham's
like that we've seen him?
X. He's Jewish.
He's Jewish. Jack Antonoff.
Or should he be older? I don't know.
Oh yeah, that works.
It works. It works.
No, he's quite young. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I would say mid to late 20s.
Ah, perfetto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Perfect.
Bellissima.
Jack Antonoff has been cast. Now, he determines to go to Nantucket,
Oh, great.
which is an island off New England, Massachusetts, north of NYC, south of Boston.
Where's
For all you geography fans.
It's out of Boston.
Boston.
Mark Wahlberg there. Yes. What is that?
He misses the last ferry to the
Oh.
island of Nantucket, unfortunately, so he has to find a bed in New Bedford for the night.
Ah,
Luckily. He's like, well, hopefully there's a lot of beds here.
Are they new? He's like, where do I go? New Bedford or Old Sleep on the Floors?
After fucking around for a while in New Bedford, he eventually finds the Spouter Inn, which he describes as the right amount of rough and dingy for Ishmael's authentic leaning tastes.
Oh, fuck this guy.
Inside the inn is a huge oil painting that's so grimy and dirty that it's impossible to tell what the painting is of. After much consideration and not a little bit of pondering, Ishmael decides he thinks it's a seascape and the big dark shape in the middle is a whale attacking a ship,
It's actually a Rorschach painting.
impaling itself upon the mast.
And he's like...
It looks like a woman arguing with a man.
And he's just like, it looks like my parents getting divorced.
The inn is at full capacity, much like the inn that Joseph and Mary tried to stay in the Bible. And like Jesus, Ishmael will have to share a room, a bed
With a
actually, with another man, a dark-complexioned harpooner
Can I,
named Queequeg.
So, with that Bible thing that you added in there, was that in the book or did you
No,
do
I
that?
I did that.
You did that. Okay. What is the man's name?
Queequeg.
Oh, Queequeg. I saw him in a pop-up book. I was like, what is this?
Queequeg's the best. It's also the name of Scully's dog in the X-Files. So there's that.
I thought you meant Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm like...
No, that's his wife, right?
Or his
Catherine,
dog. They
or
still
his
don't
dog.
know.
We went for a walk in the park.
Peanut butter. She'll eat it right out of the jar.
So now Queequeg is out and out and about. So Ishmael passes the evening with some wild mariners while he waits for Queequeg to come back. He learns that Queequeg is out
Queequeg,
pedaling.
come beak big.
Get up. He learns that Queequeg is out peddling shrunken heads, which freaks him out a little.
As it should.
Eventually, his queasiness about sharing a bed with a dude he doesn't know prompts him to try and sleep on a bench. It doesn't go as well as he hoped, so he eventually bucks up and goes to the room. When Queequeg gets back,
We're gonna keep saying this name. Can we just call him like Q-Man?
No, Queequeg. When Queequeg gets back at last, Ishmael pretends to be asleep, watching him with like one eye open.
Oh my god, he's Bella in Eclipse.
Yes.
It always comes back to that.
Ishmael's a bit freaked out. Queequeg has swirly tribal tats all over his body and a tomahawk pipe, which is actually a Native American thing. Mm-hmm. But he's not Native American. He's South Pacific. So Queequeg sets up and worships a small dark-coloured idol made out of wood to complete the picture. When he tries to get into bed, he discovers Ishmael's already in it, and there's some hilarious hijinks as Queequeg threatens Ishmael with his tomahawk, and Ishmael calls out for the innkeeper, who sets everything straight, and we all have a good laugh about it afterwards. And he introduces them properly, so they're able to, at last, snuggle up.
Little meet cute.
For the night. Absolutely.
Meet Queequeg cute.
At this point, feeling more charitable and less racist, Ishmael decides it's better to share a bed.
Less racist.
Oh, I forgot to tell you what year it was published.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Alana, can you? Thank you. Feeling more charitable and less racist, Ishmael decides it's better to share a bed with a sober cannibal than a drunken Christian. Yeah, he's a cannibal. He has shrunken heads. 1851, yeah, so like before the Civil War and everything.
Thanks, Alana, for that ultra zoom.
Ishmael watches the cannibal.
How does he know he's a cannibal? Is he just assuming?
I think he does just assume, yeah.
Just because he's got like
swirly
a little
tats and a little idol.
Yeah, and he's like, yep, cannibal.
And maybe that's just what they call them as well. Like, not even referring to, like, just called islanders cannibals. Just
mad fuck, bro.
Yeah. Well, is mid-19th century. It's about the most mad fucked it's ever been.
You heard it here first. This is racism. Mad fuck, bro.
So he watches Queequeg don a fancy hat and boots and shave himself with his harpoon. He marvels at the savage's understanding of civilized manners. There's going to be a lot of this. Just buckle in. Cured of racism, Ishmael gets breakfast with Queequeg and then wanders around town for a bit, remarking...
Cured of racism?
Yeah. He's, like, I'll Be the Racist Dragon by Flight of the Conchords, when it was like, and he wasn't racist anymore.
God, I need to rewatch that series. Yes, I do.
So they get breakfast together and they wander around the town a bit, remarking on how the great mansions on the island and the finely dressed women all owe their existence to the high price that whale oil fetches.
Sure.
While he's out, he goes to a little chapel where he sees plaques commemorating all the people killed or lost at sea. And he wonders if heaven is so nice, why do the living mourn the dead so much? Ishmael and Queequeg listen to a sermon by Father Melvill, preaching from his ship-shaped pulpit. And I wrote cool in brackets. Melvill's focus is the story of Jonah, the man who was swallowed up by a whale. Yeah, for trying to escape God's commandments. Yeah, we were all on the same page.
There's a whale.
The next chapter is Ishmael holding court over how lovely Queequeg is. His manners are so good. He's so clean and tidy. He calls him George Washington, cannibalistically developed. So it's like, if George Washington was a cannibal, he'd be Queequeg. It's complex.
Queequeg's like, man, my favorite food is, and then fucking
Ishmael
goes, yeah, people, I know, but like, Queequeg's just like, I was gonna say like oysters, but okay.
According to the customs of Queequeg's home, he and Ishmael, it's
like Marmee.
This is the cutest thing ever. According to the customs of Queequeg's home, he and Ishmael are married after they socially smoke the tomahawk pipe together. Queequeg therefore gives Ishmael half his belongings, and Ishmael even gets in on the idol worshipping, justifying it as an adherence to the golden rule. Like, if he wants to get Queequeg in on the Jesus train, he's going to kind of have to show him the same respect and deference for his religion, right? So he's like, yeah,
how long have they been hanging out for? When is the boat?
Couple days, leaving? Yeah. I don't know. Buddy.
When is the next boat out? That sounds like they've.
It's just an odd couple, yeah.
Yeah.
They're just odd coupling it up in Nantucket for the moment. One night, when they're snuggled up smoking together, Queequeg recounts his life story. He's from a South Pacific island called Kovoko, which is not down on any map. True places never are, according to Herman Melvill. So the king of the island, he's the king of the island's son, so he's prince. But before he takes over, he wants to see the world, learn about Christianity and whales, I guess.
Fucking Ishmael's like, Christianity.
He tried to get a job at a whaling ship stopping by in Kovoko, but he was denied a job, probably because of his gnarly tribal tats.
Could have just wore like a long sleeve for the interview.
Just a tie.
Yeah.
Comb his hair down.
I'd like the whale, please.
I have zero experience.
But I'm willing I'm able.
I'm enthusiastic. I'm a fast learner.
And whales are cool, right?
So Queequeg stowed away on the ship and used his persistence and charm, presumably, to eventually get a gig as a whaler. In the years since, he's become a skilled harpooner, which is a guy who stabs the whale. He admits his father is probably dead by now, which would make him king by rights, but he reckons he can't go back because his experience with Christianity has defiled him and made him unfit to rule.
Sounds like he just doesn't want to rule.
The couple go to Nantucket.
The couple?
With a wheelbarrow full of their things. And Ishmael notes how the people look at them weirdly.
Y'all ain't ever seen
a white man in love with a South Pacific.
Y'all never seen a married couple around here? Well, not them, I guess.
Though there are people from all over the world in Nantucket, it's still weird for a white man and a, quote, savage to behave like best friends. Queequeg tells Ishmael stories about the first time that he used a wheelbarrow. He picked it up instead of wheeling it.
Crazy guy.
It's just in there. On the ferry to Nantucket, some arsehole makes fun of Queequeg. Queequeg lifts him up and body slams him.
Good.
And is subsequently told off by the captain. However, a moment later, a rope in the ferry's rigging breaks, and the arsehole is swept overboard as the ferry goes out of control. Queequeg takes charge of the ropes to secure the ferry, and then dives into the water to save the man who's gone overboard, which wins everybody's respect.
Queequeg.
He's a hero.
He really is the beast best.
Ishmael pauses the story here to tell us about the island of Nantucket in deep detail.
No thanks.
Then we go to an inn and eat chowder, and it's excellent.
Yum.
Everything on Nantucket, he says, is touched by the sea. The milk tastes of fish, and the innkeeper's wife wears a necklace of fish vertebrae.
Oh.
Okay, now Yojo, the little wooden idol.
Yojo.
That's his name.
Yojo.
Yeah, Yojo. Has apparently told Queequeg that they need to find a ship ASAP, and he tells Ishmael that he has to choose the ship. Ishmael decides on a ship called the Pequod, which is named after a extinct tribe of Native Americans from around that place, which is might tell you something about the fate of the ship. But anyway, so she apparently has an old-fashioned claw-footed look about her, which is actually a description that I like a lot. Claw-footed, like she's the like ship version. Yeah, she's like the ship version of like a claw-footed bathtub. Like she's a bit.
Yeah, that doesn't sound that seaworthy.
Well, and she is apparelled like any. I hate this so much. Apparelled like any barbaric Ethiopian emperor. His neck heavy with pendants of polished ivory. So it's decked out in bones, basically, presumably whale bones. Yeah. On board, Ishmael makes a deal with Peleg and Bildad, which are the last names of the ship's Quaker owners, who are characterized Peleg and Bildad. They sound like hobbits.
I know, I'm like, wait, what?
They're characterized as conventing cheapskates and bitter taskmasters.
Oh, great.
Thanks, Buckner. Although Quakers are generally pacifists, and also I think it's implied they're the main religious group in Nantucket. These two, Peleg and Bildad, have dedicated their life to the bloody slaughter of whales.
Great.
Good for them. After evaluating what portion of the ship's profits Ishmael will get as his wages, Peleg finally gives him the job. At this time, Ishmael also learns that the ship's captain is a mysterious man named Ahab, who is named after a wicked biblical king. Ahab has been moody and secretive since losing his leg in an encounter with the great white whale Moby Dick.
Oh,
there you go.
Title: Mobius Dickius.
Bildad and Peleg believe in his competence, and they also believe him harmless. Since he has a young wife and an infant child waiting for him at home. Harmless, I get, like, he's not gonna.
Do you reckon the DJ Moby got his name from Moby Dick?
Potential.
I
don't know, like, where else would he get it from? It's not that common a name.
Moby. He's like, I love tunes and I love whales. Yeah. What am I
they're like, they think Ahab's a good, solid captain.
I've heard that name, yeah, Ahab.
Though the owners objected at first to his paganism, Queequeg impresses them with his skills by hitting a tiny spot of tar on the water with a harpoon.
Yo.
Yeah.
Mad skills.
They give him an even bigger cut than Ishmael will get, which is fair enough because harpooner is a very necessary and dangerous job.
What does Ishmael do?
He's just a sailor. On their way out, a heavily scarred man named Elijah confronts the two and warns them that signing onto that ship will take them into peril. And he implies that Ahab is a crazy person.
Kurt.
Just saying sooths.
Soothsaying.
You gotta say them sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta sooth in your heart.
Oh God. I'm just a lad with a sooth in my heart.
I gotta say it.
And I got a sandwich board on me. And
what if it was the opposite and it was like, son, your father was a soothsayer. His father before him was a soothsayer. And you'll be a soothsayer too.
I don't wanna.
That's your dream, Dad.
No. It's Chad Michael Murray in A Cinderella Story. Everything always comes back down. It's Chad Michael Murray in A Cinderella Story. Because, you know, it's his dream, Dad.
Just saying the sooths, but he's creepy and he looks weird, so they ignore him.
As a soothsayer, usually soothes.
Soothes. Over the next days, as they prepare for the voyage, they hear... Yes, they hear... Sorry.
Why? What did you write?
Head. They hear Ahab has recovered from the loss of his leg and that his health is improving.
Oh, good for him. Does he get a little peg leg?
He does.
Dope.
Approaching the Pequod at dawn, that's the ship, Ishmael thinks he sees sailors boarding the ship in the half-light and reasons that the ship must be leaving at sunrise. On their way themselves to board the ship, Ishmael and Queequeg encounter Elijah again, and he has some sooths to say. He asks whether they saw anything looking like men boarding the ship, and Ishmael replies in the affirmative. However, when they get on board, there's nobody there except one old sailor who informs them that the captain is already aboard.
So the captain is like 10 people in a trench coat.
Perhaps. As the sun rises, you just busted this thing wide open.
Moby Dicks.
As the sun rises, the Pequod's crew assembles and gets ready to sail. They leave on a cold Christmas morning.
Christmas?
I know.
Oh.
Why wouldn't you just wait a day? But I guess, I don't know.
But then that's Boxing Day after. You don't want to miss out on the sales.
The sales? Alana thought that was funny.
Oh, this. Come here, I'm gonna fucking do it.
No!
I almost just launched myself at her.
Just like push the microphones off.
Just straight up beat you.
Bildad and Peleg pilot the ship out of the port, and Ahab still has not appeared on deck.
He's mysterious.
He surely is. Ishmael finds himself a bit disconcerted, and he falls to meditating and speculating, which earns him a kick and a scolding from Peleg.
Good.
The Pequod is soon clear of the harbour and on the open ocean, at which point Peleg and Bildad ditch and take their little boat back to Nantucket. I don't know why they had to pilot it out of a bay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did they just...
Custom?
Were they really good at reversing the boat?
It's like a dad who won't let you, park his
parallel
car.
park. It's your dad.
Yeah, it's my dad.
Dream.
He can't watch me pull out of the driveway because it gives him too much stress, apparently. Bless his heart.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. So anyway.
It's alright. It's his fault for giving you such a huge car when you're so little. He should have given you like a little smart car. You know, the ones you plug in.
Mm-hmm. The Pequod, on the other hand, plunges like fate into the lone Atlantic.
Sure.
And now, after 3 pages of my notes, we are finally at sea. Now we have a lot of chapters about bullshit. One about a random named Bulkington who dies at sea, who Ishmael reckons is the better for it, not dying a coward or whatever. Then Ishmael goes on a multi-chapter tract about why whaling is good and important and everyone should be impressed. Then he gives us a couple portraits of the characters on board the ship. So, the first mate, second in command, after Ahab, is a man named Starbuck.
Oh.
Perhaps the original. I actually didn't look it up.
It could be because it is like a mermaid.
Yeah.
Starbuck. Just one? I would like one Starbucks.
It's never mentioned
please.
whether he likes coffee or not. And I will pay with Starbucks.
Let's be walking into a Starbucks.
How many Starbucks for this coffee?
I have several.
So he's pragmatic, reliable, moral, dignified.
Yes, Alana?
It was named after, there's apparently a mining town in the book called Starbose. But then he thought of the first mate of Pequod, Starbuck, when they were designing the logo and stuff. Because it was either going to be called Cargo House.
Ew.
Is that in the book? Or Pequod after the ship.
Sure.
Oh, but people would have made fun of it because it's P. Starbucks, like, damn. Pretty.
There you go.
Yeah.
He is the orig.
Trendsetter.
So he's pragmatic, reliable, moral, dignified, says his prayers every night. He's a good guy. He's played by...
Sean Bean.
No.
Brendan Gleeson.
Ewan McGregor.
Good guy, pragmatic. Killian. No. Wait, hang on, let me think. Good guy, pragmatic. Liam Neeson?
Yeah!
Aside from the racist bashing.
Apart from that.
Liam Neeson as an actor, not as a person.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got...
It's a dream cast, and in our dream, Liam Neeson isn't a racist.
Yes. Jack Antonoff as Ishmael. We've got Liam Neeson as Starbuck. Who is Squeakwag?
Who's
Ving
like-
Rhames.
What's he in?
Perfection.
Huh?
Hey, Alana, Ving Rhames.
Someone really charming and lovable.
Is he huge? Is he built? I imagine him as like a huge
I
dude.
reckon regular height, pretty tough though.
Really? I imagined him literally as the guy in The Green Mile.
Right. No, because he's quick, because he's a harpooner.
Oh, okay. And he's like native.
Yeah.
American?
No, he's not Native American.
What is he?
He's South, like Islander,
Okay.
like South Pacific, like
The
Tonga.
Rock.
Is Queequeg the Rock?
Yeah,
All
sure.
Yeah, that's
All
fine.
right.
Okay, so we've got The Rock as Queequeg. We've got Liam Neeson as Starbuck.
Sure.
Who else?
We need an Ahab.
Ahab. Is it just Marlon Brando with one leg?
Like a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, let's keep going. Then we've got Stubb.
Hmm.
And he's a native of Cape Cod who's always cool under pressure and is jolly and good-humoured, if a bit impious.
Brendan Gleeson.
Okay.
No?
Yeah. The third mate, Flask, is short, stocky guy who's aggro and doesn't give a fuck about the dignity of the whale.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Did you say aggro?
Yeah.
God, I've never heard you say that.
They each command one of the small whaling boats, basically rowboats that are sent out after whales where the actual fighting and killing takes place. So those are the officers. Then we have the harpooneers, which are unofficially the next most important men on the boat.
Yeah, of course.
Each officer has one, because they each have one boat and they each have one harpooner per boat. So, Queequeg is Starbuck's harpooner.
Yep. So that is Liam Neeson and The Rock. Great combo.
Then we have Tash to go, who is a Native American from Gay Head, which is in Massachusetts. So
Native. Oh, he's that. Oh my God.
he's got to be big and tough as well.
He is. Oh, he's not big, but he's pretty tough. Fargo season 2.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
Alana, can you
Bone
picture for me?
Tomahawk. He's the only like Native American. He's like one. What's his name? Well, you know what? What about the Native American guy in the Eagles?
He's just old.
Brother, man. Yeah, we need more Native American actors. Though,
Yeah.
'cause I'm just like, fuck, I'm out.
This is what's making us realize that. Just trying to cast this.
But yeah, put down Fargo season 2.
So he's Stubbs's harpooner, and then we have Dagu. And I'd like to disclaim here that I don't approve of the language used to describe him. However, this is what Herman Melvill wrote, and I think it's important to acknowledge that this is how it's written. So Dagu is a giant coal-black Negro savage from Africa. No country specified.
Okay. He can be the guy from Green Mile then.
Sure, yeah.
Or just Ving Rhames.
Melvill does say he has an imperial bearing. Anyway.
I am racist, but...
like...
Y'all seen this whale, though?
Anyway, he's a harpooner on Flask's boat. So there's the three of
Who
them.
that?
Flask is Danny DeVito.
Oh, yeah.
Ishmael notes that few whalers are American-born, except the officers. He says the Native American liberally provides the brains, the rest of the world as generously supplies the muscles. However, I don't think he's talking about actual Native Americans here, but just white people. Born in
Yeah, I was
America.
like, squeeze me?
Anyway, the rest of the crew is international. But we're all part of the Brotherhood of Man, am I right? Comradeship. There's also Pip, a poor black boy from Alabama who beats the tambourine on the ship.
Pip!
Not sure if this is an actual job or, and I didn't finish that sentence.
Okay, a little guy just playing tambourine. Is it Kevin
Okay.
Hart?
He's so old now.
But you know.
This guy's supposed to be like 13.
Well,
Kevin Hart as a 13-year-old. His voice is high enough.
yeah, and he's so small. Yes.
Mr. Ahab?
So what was I looking at for Fargo season 2? I've got 2 questions. Fargo season 2.
Yeah.
Let me look that up. What was I finding?
The Native American
actor.
Oh well, I've got another option for so that's Zahn McClarnon.
Show Sandy
It's
the.
this guy.
Yeah, him.
Oh, he's
And
quite
then-
old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, you know, just imagine
I'm-
them in their youth.
Yeah, in
Thinking
his
of
youth, maybe.
Michael Horse, who's in Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like him.
Oh, yeah, he's also super old.
The other one.
They're all old. What's...
Well, we can choose an era of an actor, can we not?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can. We can do whatever we want.
There was a movie... God. Never mind.
Okay, yeah, so Kevin Hart is the tambourine boy.
Not sure if that's an actual job or...
Question mark?
Okay, so this is from Spark Notes, and I just wanted to include this.
Okay.
Critic Alan Heimert has suggested the pairing of the mates and harpooneers mirrors relationships of oppression in the 19th century. Starbuck represents New England, and just as this region depends on the Chinese South Sea trade, he depends on Queequeg. Stubb represents the American West, and his power derives from his subordination of the Native American Indian Tashtigo.
Stubb is Gleason, right?
Yes. Flask represents the South, and both controls and depends upon the African Dagu.
DeVito. Got it.
While these pairings do reflect larger social structures, however, they also involve relationships that are much more complicated and much more interdependent than simple master-slave or boss-worker exchanges. So that's just an interesting angle on that. Anyway, as the Pequod strikes out to the south, the weather gets better, as it will, when you get towards the equator. Ahab at last appears on deck.
Marlon Brando with a peg leg.
He appears strong and willful, although his last encounter with Moby Dick left him scarred physically and mentally. He has an ivory peg leg made out of a whale jaw.
Dope.
And a Harry Potter scar down one cheek.
Fucking dope.
He said a lightning-shaped scar, so it's
So
like...
Harry Potter
it's
scar.
Rumour has it that the scar...
Wait. Does the scar hurt when he's near the whale?
Well, rumour has it that the scar suddenly appeared during some elemental strife at sea, but I think it was Voldemort.
Yeah. So like when Moby's near, he's just like,
He maintains a firm dictatorship on board and restlessly paces the deck all the time. When Stubbs complains about the pacing, Ahab calls him a dog and... what do you... Oh, okay. I wrote, what do you call it when a bully pretends to punch you and makes you flinch?
oh, it's a game of
Chicken? No,
yeah,
is it?
kind of. Yeah,
It's
like
just
the-
like, ha, I made you flinch. Like, he does that, basically, to Stubbs.
And then I'm guessing Stubbs flinches, concedes all his power.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, this next part is an entire chapter. Ahab decides smoking doesn't soothe him anymore, so he throws the pipe over the side and resumes pacing.
That was an entire chapter.
Yes.
How? Can you just? I know you condensed it.
So many words.
How many words can you possibly come up with?
Too many.
Like, he does not like. How do you say? The
How
smoke in
do
the
you
pipe into the lung.
Okay. The next morning, Stubb tells Flask that he dreamed Ahab kicked him with his ivory leg. And all the mermen in the dream points out the futility of struggling against Ahab and suggests that it may even be an honor to be kicked by such a man. As Stubb finishes telling him Telling Flask of this dream, Ahab shouts at the crew to be on the lookout for whales. The Pequod's work has begun.
Whales.
Which is a great time to take 2 full chapters to talk about the science of whales and list all the different kinds of whales and do a full literature review of whale science books and then analyze the whaling industry. And then we're going to talk about Officers
Is
at
this
Dinner.
anyone's favorite book? Whalers, perhaps?
Write in if this is your favorite book.
Yeah, if you are a whaler,
Actually,
listening
maybe
to
don't write in. I don't want to be your friend.
Oh. But what if they're just looking for other whaling enthusiasts?
They should hook up with Herman Melvill because he's an
racist
enthusiast and a
dead.
half, yeah. So we're going to talk about the Officers at Dinner, which is a rigid sort of pageantry affair with strict order of service followed. After the officers finish dinner, the table is relayed for the harpooneers who eat heartily, which intimidates the cook for some reason.
The cook's like, oh god.
Oh, they're hungry. The cabin is not a comfortable place for anyone, apparently, anyway, as it is Ahab's territory and Ahab is inaccessible and an alien or something.
Oh
Ishmael.
my god. Sorry. You know the little black kid playing tambourine?
Yeah, Pip.
If this was remade, it'd be some white guy DJing and it'd be Moby. On the decks.
No.
Get it?
No.
The decks. No, it's just Kevin Hart.
Okay. Ishmael talks about how he sits up on the masthead. That's his job. So he's a lookout for breaching whales. And while he's sitting up there...
Oh, he's the guy that gets the Titanic killed.
Yes.
Okay.
He often daydreams and falls asleep, and he warns captains against hiring romantic, melancholy, absent-minded young men like himself who are likely to miss whales. Ahab finally makes an official appearance before the men. First, he stirs the crew by calling out simple questions about their mission, to which they respond in unison.
Whales!
I can't remember what this is. Something like, what are we? Whalers! What do we
Wildcats!
want?
Whales!
Some shit.
When do we want it? Whales!
We want whale time. Anyway, he then presents a Spanish gold doubloon.
Ooh.
Truly worth a pretty penny. He says, whosoever of ye raises me a white-headed whale with a wrinkled brow and a crooked jaw, ye shall have this gold ounce, my boys. So the men cheer. And the harpooneers ask if it is Moby Dick specifically Ahab seeks.
Of course it is.
Ahab then confesses in response to Starbuck's query that it is indeed Moby Dick who stripped him of his leg.
How?
Chomped it.
But just the leg?
Yeah.
Not his whole body?
Yeah.
But a whale is so huge. Like the mouth, remember
Maybe he was trying to get him and he almost got away.
Remember like in Finding Nemo?
Yeah. They
Like,
were
that's
very
huge.
small fish though, as well.
Oh yeah. But still.
It is big. Yeah, it is big.
Oh my goodness gracious. Whales are so scary. Don't even try to catch them. Just leave them alone.
I wish.
They're so big. Like their heart is the size of like this whole fucking house probably.
He announces his quest that he's going to hunt this whale down in revenge. The men shout together that they will hunt with Ahab, though Starbuck's now like, oh, nuts, because he, quote, came here to hunt whales, not his commander's vengeance.
Ah, nuts.
Ahab commences a ritual that binds the crew together. He orders all of his men to drink from one flagon that gets passed around, which is unsanitary.
I thought it was gonna be like a trustful or something, like some team building exercises. Like light as a feather.
Telling the harpooneers to cross their lances before him, Ahab grasps the weapons and anoints Queequeg, Tashtigo, and Dagu. My 3 pagan kinsmen there, yon 3 most honourable gentlemen and noblemen. That's what he says. He then makes them take the iron off of the harpoons to use as drinking goblets.
Nah, dude, don't do that.
They all drink together as Ahab proclaims, God hunt us all if we do not hunt Moby Dick to his death. And everyone else is like,
No,
sure.
just you.
Okay, chapter 37, Sunset, begins with a stage direction.
What? That's weird.
So, yeah, some of them he writes as, like, soliloquies and, like, stage scripts and stuff.
We'll let
It's
him get a...
it's
Was
very
this
random.
publisher just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is a melancholy soliloquy by Ahab alone near a window. He notes that everyone thinks he's mad, and he kind of agrees with them to a certain extent. He calls himself demoniac and maddened. So he's maddened by madness.
Maybe Ahab should actually be Brendan Gleeson, but Brendan Gleeson as Mad-Eye Moody.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Truly
he also
a peg
has
leg.
like a...
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to recast Stub.
I don't know, man.
Brendan Gleeson, but not as Mad Eye Moody.
So Ahab reveals that it was foretold that he would be dismembered by a whale.
What the fuck?
He proclaims, however, that he will be both prophet and fulfiller of Moby Dick's destiny. He accepts the inequality of the battle and challenges Moby Dick, claiming that the whale cannot avoid his fate.
Who named the whale?
I think it's just like
Ahab.
he's like a folk legend.
Oh, this whale's famous.
Yeah, he's the white whale, and he might be honestly a conflation of multiple different white whales.
Yeah, I know.
But everyone's like sees a white whale and they're like, I saw him.
Oh. Yeah, it's like in Nathan For You when he has a bunch of those lookalikes.
Yes.
That's Moby Dick is Nathan Fielder. And he's got on a bunch of other
can
white
you imagine
whales.
if Moby Dick, you had like his thoughts like as a voiceover by Nathan Fielder?
Yes, it's like I'm trying to. If I was Nathan Fielder as Moby Dick, what would
We
I
don't have
say?
to fight.
I didn't want your leg.
It seems like you want me to want your leg.
I got nothing. I'm not
Yeah,
Nathan Fielder.
no, me neither. He's a genius.
He really is.
So
Nathan Fielder, please sponsor us.
Ahab says, quote, "The path to my fixed purpose is laid with iron rails, whereon my soul is grooved to run." Meanwhile, Starbuck is also soliloquizing in the next room or something. Though
Everyone's
he
just
fears that all will turn out ill, he feels inextricably bound to Ahab, compelled to help him to his, quote, impious end.
Sure.
Yes. When he hears the revelry coming from the crew's forecastle, don't know what that is, I guess their rec room,
Rumpus room.
he laments the whole doomed voyage and the latent horror in life, providing yet another perspective on the voyage. Stubb, Danny DeVito, believing it all to be predestined, can only laugh and sing a ditty. He doesn't mind. He's sort of fatalist.
Oh, he believes in determinism.
Yeah. Chapter 40, Midnight Forecastle, is scripted
How many chapters?
over
are
100.
there? What?
It's scripted like a scene from a play and presents the sailors, all of different nationalities, showing off and singing together. So it's all very nice. They get into a fight when a Spanish sailor makes fun of Daggoo. The onset of a storm, however, halts their fighting and makes them tend to the ship. Pip asks the big white god, who may either be God or Ahab, to, quote,
Or
have
Moby Dick.
mercy on this small black boy. True.
On the small black boy. It's Kevin Hart.
Okay, so now we get a chapter on Moby Dick at long last.
Finally. Like fucking 40 chapters in.
Yeah. Ishmael notes that sperm whale attacks have recently increased, and that superstitious sailor regard the attacks as having an intelligent, even supernatural provenance. Moby Dick is one figure that they fix on. He's like this unkillable white whale. Some say he's immortal, or he can be in two places at once.
What? No, he's a whale.
Yeah. So Ishmael talks for a while about the merit of some of these rumors, like how far and fast whales can actually travel. The possibility that you can catch a whale in the Pacific with harpoons from Greenland, like, stuck in it. Sometimes they just swim it, like, they get harpooned and then like, fuck you, and they just go along and they just have harpoons stuck in them.
Yeah, they're just like...
Just live their lives.
They're just like, don't worry about it. It's like a
Like
piercing.
a piercing, yeah. Septum piercing.
Alright, you want to add me? I got harpooned. Just around here.
Gently.
Just like a cattle.
Moby Dick has apparently eluded capture many, many times and exhibits an intelligent malignity. Like, he's as smart as a human, if not like an evil dragon from Lord of the Rings.
I'm sure that wasn't in the book.
That wasn't, but I'm making it palatable for the listeners.
Are there dragons in Lord of the Smaug?
Smaug, yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch is in, yeah.
Yeah.
No one cares about the Hobbit series, though.
What if Smaug was voiced by Nathan Fielder? Just think about that for a
The
second.
most dead inside voice. You know what? I just watched the episode where he does the shipping.
You can't have
company
this, it's mine.
thing.
Why are you in my house?
Where he makes that band, the Bonsai
Yeah,
Tournament, and
yeah.
he sings that song that he wrote. Oh my god, I love one man. And it's Nathan Fielder.
Yeah. Ishmael explains that Ahab lost his leg when he tried to attack Moby Dick with a knife
What?
after the whale destroyed one of his boats.
That's actually, I respect
That's
that.
kind of relatable in a lot of ways. So he's far from land. Ahab doesn't have access to much medical care. Therefore, he went unimaginable physical and mental suffering, of course, on the ship's return to Nantucket, which is what Ishmael thinks kind of explains his madness and his revenge wish.
Well, duh. A
Yeah.
whale ate his leg. I'd want revenge too. I wouldn't be
Like
like...
a little bit, like it's kind of silly to take revenge on something
No, it's not.
that doesn't have intention. Like,
Took my leg.
anyway,
Because...
Ishmael begins a discussion of whiteness,
But he's white.
noticing its use as a symbol of virtue, nobility, and racial superiority.
What?
To him,
You
the
can't...
color...
Wait, what? You just over that.
To Ishmael, the color white only multiplies the terror when it is attached to any object already terrible in and of itself, e.g. a shark or a polar bear. Ishmael describes Ahab's attempts to locate Moby Dick.
Okay, hit me.
Ahab believes that he can predict where the whale will be by tracing currents that the whale might follow in search of food. He is also aware that Moby Dick has been known to show up in a certain place at the same time every year, normal whale migration habits. Ahab's single-minded focus occasionally leads him to burst into fits of shrieking.
Like Alana.
He's an opossum.
You're Ahab.
Ishmael speculates that these fits are the result of the remainder of Ahab's soul trying to escape from his demented psyche.
It is Mad-Eye Moody.
And I wrote, thanks for that spark note. That was a spark note.
Spark notes?
Sentence that I thought went super hard.
So good.
In the meantime, they catch a few whales.
Oh, but it's not Moby Dick, so it doesn't matter.
For one thing, the contracts Ahab has with the crew demands it, and they'd be justified in mutiny if he restricted their ability to make money. Remember, they only make a cut of what the ship makes.
You know what's crazy to me? Whales. They're fucking huge, right?
They are fucking huge.
How do they get them? How much huger is the ship?
It's pretty big.
Like how?
They cut them into pieces. They actually cut them into pieces when they're lashed to the side of the ship. And then they get the bits and they bring them on board. They don't put the whole whale on the ship.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So, aside from like whale oil, which I'm guessing is like rendered fat from like the blubber, how else do you make money off the whales?
I'm so glad you asked that, and so is Herman Melvill, because we're gonna have over 10 chapters on it later, but just sit tight, okay?
Oh my god! Sandy! Oh no! I've never seen you look so defeated before. Like there was no light left in your eyes. I'm sure the audience can tell from your tone that you were just at the end of your Moby Dick tether. Like,
Okay, you ready to keep going?
are you?
We're not even halfway through. We gotta keep going.
We gotta, yeah.
Okay. First pod of whales they see, the men prepare to send out the ships, when 5 dusky phantoms appear around Ahab.
Whoa.
Stowaways? A secret crew of Ahabs. The leader is a man named Fadala, a dark, sinister figure, according to Ishmael.
Where'd they come from? What are they?
Below deck somewhere. With a Chinese jacket and a turban made from coiling his own hair around his head. His crew are described by Melvill as, and again this is awful,
Great. Hit me.
tiger yellow natives of the Manilas.
Oh, I'd love to be described like that.
Yeah.
Put that in my... Let's put a new bio.
I'm a
up.
tiger yellow native of the Manilas.
Manilas.
According to...
Isn't it
Yeah,
like
that's
the
what they used to call the
Philippines?
Philippines, I guess.
Oh, dope.
Or at least this fucking guy used to call the Philippines.
That is legit how I'm going to describe myself now.
Ishmael realizes these must be the shadowy figures he saw boarding the Pequod at dawn in Nantucket.
Ah, the 10 people in the trench coat.
Yes.
They're trying to buy like a movie ticket, but for one.
Plus, there's been like strange noises coming from the hold, and Ahab goes down there all the time. So everyone's like, "Oh, okay, the ship's not haunted. We just had like a whole crew of stowaways."
Thank God there's no ghost.
Everyone stares at them, which I think is fair. Because, like, you're the captain, you could surely just hire them like regular sailors.
Yeah, so
but
what's
whatever.
what's their secret?
I think that it's just that, like it's not done for a captain to have his own crew for a whaleboat.
Yeah, what is that secret crew? What do they do?
So they're a whaleboat crew. So
I
you
know.
know how each of the officers has a whaleboat and they have a harpooner? Ahab's like, I'm going to have my own whaleboat. Fidella's going to be my harpooner, and everyone else that I brought on, that I stowed away on board, is going to be my, like, rowers. Yeah?
How many whaleboats are on this ship?
I guess 4.
By
3 and a
whaleboat,
spare.
are they as big as like a life raft on Titanic? Like that
Yeah,
size?
kind of like, you've seen Heart of the Sea. Heart of the Sea? Also kind of the
I
Moby Dick
haven't
story.
seen it.
Okay. Well, they get stranded in one, which is basically like a long, like, if 12 people.
You know what sucks?
Ish.
That sounds like such a cool plot, but everyone I've spoken
Says
to
it's
hated
super
it,
boring.
and it's so boring. And it's got Cillian fucking Murphy.
I know, it's got everyone.
The love of my entire life.
It's a bummer.
Bummer, man. Because he was
It's a
your
bummer 'cause
brother,
he was your
man.
The officers pull themselves together and tell everyone to focus on hunting the whales.
Don't worry about my super secret assassin whale crew.
So this first hunt is unsuccessful. Although we do learn that Flask has to stand on Dagu's shoulders because he's too short to see.
So
that's
and that's
adorable.
Danny DeVito, right?
Yeah. On top of the guy from the Green Mile.
Oh my god.
So
Michael Clark Duncan, I think, maybe, who is actually passed away.
oh.
So maybe we'll use Ving Rhames, but as his character in Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. Queequeg manages to land a harpoon in a whale, but the
Nice.
animal overturns the boat.
Fuck.
The men in Queequeg's boat are nearly crushed by the ship as it passes looking for them, since a squall, which is like a little baby storm, I think. That's what they call it, when you get a little baby storm, has cast a mist over everything so they can't see them. But finally, however, they're all okay, they get pulled aboard.
Good God.
After this first hunt, Ishmael decides to write his will. He feels better afterwards, and he comes to a morbid understanding of himself as a man who's already dead, and any additional time that he survives at sea will be like a bonus. Anyway, with Fidela and his crew, Ahab now has his own little whaling boat at his command.
Was the ship not enough for him to command?
Well, yeah, so it seems like the point of his sneaking them on is it's super unheard of that a captain will command one of the little whaling boats, especially a captain without legs. So probs something you wouldn't want the owners to know about. So that's
Yeah.
probably why he snuck them on board, just so he didn't have to have that conversation with them. Of course, Ishmael and the rest of the crew are inclined to distrust these newcomers,
Yeah.
and Ishmael hints there's something demoniacal about Fidela in particular.
Oh, yeah, because he's, Asian.
Yeah, exactly. They are starting to see spirit spouts, that is, single spouts in the distance, when the whale isn't seen again. So it seems like a crafty phantom is leading them on. So some think it's Moby Dick themselves, kind of luring them to their death. They sail around the Cape of Good Hope, which is the southern part of South Africa, just that cape. So you've got Cape Horn, which is when you go around the bottom of South America, and the Cape of Good Hope when you go around the bottom of Africa.
Sure.
Fun ship facts. And they're both really dangerous passages of water. The weather there is nuts. But Ahab commands them well, and they get through it all right.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Maybe he's not so bad after all.
Maybe him and his one leg are going to make it after all.
Okay, so they run into another whaler, the Goni, or the Albatross. I don't know why it has 2 names. Just
'Cause it's
passing.
cool.
Yeah. It's been at sea 4 years and looks spectral to Ishmael.
Yeah.
Ahab calls out to them. He calls this out to every single boat. Thou sinnest the white whale!
Y'all seen Moby Dick?
Yeah. The other captain tries to respond, but the wind carries his voice away.
No.
The school... that's how it sounds.
That could have been a yes. I don't know.
The schools of fish that have been following the Pequod in its wake, I guess like surfing, ditch and turn to follow the Albatross instead.
Well, that's not good.
A bad sign?
Bro.
Or just chance?
Bro, that ain't. That ain't it, Chief.
Ishmael has another ponder, and he thinks that although it sounds grand to circumnavigate the globe, it really just amounts to going in circles, doesn't it?
Well, the globe is circular, so... Wait, did they believe it was flat back then still?
No, they'd figured it out by then. Normally, ships would sidle up to each other and the captains would exchange news, including letters from Nantucket and
like
stuff.
bus drivers when they wave at each
Yeah.
other. I love that.
However, Ahab isn't interested in hanging out with anyone who doesn't have news of the white whale.
It's me at work.
Ishmael then tells us a story about an entirely different ship and a weird mutiny they had for no reason at all.
Shut the fuck up, Ishmael.
And then he talks about paintings of whales for 3 chapters.
3?
Yep. Then he talks about Brit. Brit is what I think is what they called krill.
Oh.
So it's what baleen whales feed on. Like right whales.
Crazy that whales, a huge fucking unit, mostly eat like teeny tiny fish. Teeny tiny shrimp.
But it's like rice, you know, we eat rice and each individual rice is teeny tiny, but we eat a spoonful of big spoon of it, you know, so it's actually quite a lot of spoon. But, you know, you spoon your rice.
How many krill can there be in the ocean?
So many.
Whoa.
Less now. Anyway.
Well, okay. I don't like what this book has done to you. Maybe you're Ahab, and Moby Dick is your
book.
Moby Dick.
Whoa,
man.
Whoa. They run across what they think is a whale. Oh, so that thing about Brit, that was a whole nother chapter. They run across what they think is a whale, but it turns out to be a giant squid. Another bad omen.
Oh, no.
And then we get a chapter
do they not want to catch the giant squid?
No.
Oh.
I know, you'd think it would be
You'd
delicious.
think it'd be pretty cool. Like, yo, check out this huge squid.
Then we get a chapter-length description of the whale line, which is a rope made of hemp that connects to the harpoon and dangles free at the other end, so it can be tied to other boats' lines.
That does not need a chapter.
Sometimes it takes men with it when it whizzes out of the boat after being stuck into a whale. So it's like a big heavy rope and it can just whip you into the water. Stubbs Kills a Whale is the name of the next chapter and really contains all you need to know.
Stop kills the whale.
Stubbs kills a whale.
Oh, yay!
We get a few more chapters talking about the tools and things in whaling. We get a chapter for the dart or the harpoon, one for the crotch, which is a wooden support for the harpoon. Kind of makes sense.
Can't they have just put it in the harpoon chapter?
You'd think. We spend a chapter on Stubbs eating a whale steak from the whale he caught and killed, while he feasts on the steak and tells off the black cook Fleece for not making it right. Sharks feast on the part of the whale's corpse, which is still below the water. Lots of the sharks all over the place.
Yikes.
Stubbs tells the cook to quieten the sharks down, basically tormenting and bullying him until he delivers a very reasonable sermon to the sharks, encouraging more civilized behavior. But as Stubbs continues to torment him, Fleece says Stubbs himself is very much like a shark. Though it is supposed to be funny. His sermon resonates with Ishmael's mention of the sharks following slave ships for a taste of their human cargo.
Hey,
When one dies, you just... Yeah, anyway. Fleece instances the undercurrent of racism and abuse within the supposedly meritocratic order aboard the Pequod. Thanks, Sparknotes, for that one. Then we get a full chapter on the whale as a culinary dish. Kill me.
Great. So far in this hour and a bit, I have learned nothing. So now I've learned that Ahab really... That whale really got his goat. He's aching for it.
Yeah.
Ishmael, boring, whatever.
He doesn't do much except tell the story, to be honest.
Squeakwog.
Queequeg's cool.
Fave. My boy. Kevin Hart's there hanging out.
Yeah. He has more to do in the second part.
Oh, thank God. Good for him. Him and his tambourine.
At the moment, he's just playing the tambourine.
Begging the sea to take mercy on him.
Yeah, same. But
Yeah.
it didn't, so...
Can't wait to hear all about
The rest
how
of
else
the
to
book.
make money from whales, the 10 chapters
Yeah.
that you're looking forward to.
Get ready.
So this is what I've learned. You hate this. And
Catch you on the other side.
where you'll still hate this.
Yeah.
This is fun for me.
Just, be good to each other.
It honestly sounds like you're gonna kill yourself after this. What has Herman Melvill done to you?
Apparently in the movie he's played by Ben... What's his name? The English guy. Wishaw.
Oh, Paddington.
Yeah. He plays Herman Melvill in the...
Paddington.
In the thing about the Exeter. The Exeter... I'm pretty sure that was the name of the ship. That was the one that got destroyed by a whale, by a sperm whale.
Paddington.
And then they were lost at sea for like weeks and weeks, and they ended up eating each other to survive. Spoilers. That doesn't happen in this.
I'm gonna watch that part.
Yeah. So this was so Moby Dick was kind of based on a real story.
What else did I learn? Oh,
And you're gonna put tiger yellow in your Tinder profile now.
tiger yellow. What is it?
Native of the Manillas.
Of the Manillas. If I ever get back on Tinder, sure. That's just. It's hard looking for my Moby Dick on Tinder. I'm like, hey, I'm going, y'all seen?
Thou seest the white whale.
And the white whale is a good man that will treat you well and fucking good and hard.
A dickin' down.
A Moby Dickin' down. Himself.
Are you sore?
It's so cute when dogs do that.
Unless it's their balls, and it's gross.
He doesn't have balls. He's D6 because we care about animals in this house.
Yeah.
Please D6 your pets.
Wishbone's getting done soon, poor thing.
Who's getting it done, Josh?
Wishbone. Josh. Not even a vasectomy, just straight up castrated.